So why isn't any discipline technique working with my child? This is one of the questions we're going to dive deep into today. And it has to do with understanding the why, the reason behind your child's behaviors. So all of us have these three core needs that need to be met because we're designed as human beings to get what we need to survive. And that includes psychologically. So we need a sense of safety, a sense of connection, and a sense of autonomy to basically feel like we're getting what we need to survive emotionally and socially. So when we don't get that, especially as children, when we're developing, we reflexively act out in certain ways to get what we need, even if it's like in a negative way. And I think we all know what that's like. So people who never had a strong sense of connection, say with their parents when they were young, maybe now they lash out to get attention in really negative ways. And it doesn't even matter because it's still attention. So it's providing their psyche what they need, even though it's very unhealthy. So we want to figure out how can we help our children sense these three core needs, because we know that we're providing a safe environment, especially if you're watching this video. I'm sure you're providing a safe environment for your child, right? It's not about whether or not you're providing it. It's how can we do this in a way that speaks to our child's subconscious? Since we're all unique in our own way, our children are all unique. Sometimes we have to try different things, kind of like solving a puzzle, to make sure that they're internalizing what we need them to. So let's dive into this. We have the first core need, which is safety. And this has to do, it's super, super deep in the subconscious. And it has to do with usually consistency in their environment, makes them feel safe. Boundaries. I know sometimes parents are afraid. Sorry, I can see my internet connection is messing up again. Strong boundaries help your child feel safe. If there are no boundaries in the house, trust me, they're not feeling safe. So it's a good thing, especially when they're consistent, strong boundaries. Also, when their expectations are being met, which kind of correlates with these, because if you have a consistent environment with consistent boundaries, the child knows what they can and can't do. They know their expectations are being met whenever they do something. So let's say a child is having a tantrum every time they go from one activity to the next, or every time they move from one environment to the next. Sorry, I see that reflection there. This could be that we need to address their sense of safety, so that they can feel like they know what to expect when they go from that activity to the next one, or when they go from that environment to the next one, and they don't have to be scared. It's not going to send them into, tantrum city or fight or flight. So that's an example of how we can do that. Number 2 is connection. So all of us need to feel seen, heard, and understood in order for us to thrive, okay? So this doesn't mean you have to agree with whatever your child says, okay? This is just giving them, you can say, oh, all right, I understand what you're saying, and that makes sense, but unfortunately, that is not what one of the house rules are. Here's the rule, and here's our options, okay? So you don't have to agree with whatever they're saying. They just need to be heard. They just have to get it out. So, and this is a human thing, okay? We all need this. So for example, if your child is just constantly clinging to you all the time, especially when you're interacting with other people or like on the phone, this could mean that their sense of connection needs to be addressed a little bit more. Maybe they are feeling left out or overshadowed by another sibling. So we'll try techniques that address that. And I hope you can see how when we are fighting with the behaviors, it's exhausting and it doesn't work. It's a Band-Aid. But when we're using those behaviors as a signal or like a compass directing us to the core needs that need to be met, that means we're addressing the root source. And then the behavior melts away on its own. It's awesome. Okay, last one. Autonomy. So it's basically control. We all need to feel a bit of control in our lives, right? But this needs to be a healthy bit of control that's age appropriate. So it also is connected to their sense of self-worth, internal motivation. So let's say your child is refusing to eat, or they're refusing to respond to potty training, and it's extreme, right? This could be because they're lacking a sense of autonomy. So we need to give age appropriate choices for a child, usually this or that, not a bunch of choices all the time, but like a this or that. That's age appropriate. Do you want to wear this shirt today or this shirt? The reason why is because we naturally need a sense of control. We need to know that our decisions make a difference in the world around us, and it's healthy for us to help our children recognize this. Then, because then they become, their self-worth becomes stronger. They understand there's something that they get internally from making good choices in life instead of like an external reward or whatnot. So if we're focusing on the root source, it shifts the behavior so that they no longer have to find control in those ways where they know you can't force them to eat, you can't force them to go to the bathroom. So they're going to lash out subconsciously, definitely during those 2 times, because they don't have control anywhere else. They got to do it where they can, right? All of the timeouts and the reward charts, anything you can think of addressing the behaviors instead of the root source, they are not going to work if they're not getting these 3 core needs. So I created the behavior decoder guide for my clients. And if you just drop me a message, either privately or in the comments, I can shoot this over to you. I don't need your email or anything. I can shoot it over to you for free. It goes over each of these core needs and some examples, and it even has a checklist for each one that shows common behaviors related to that core need. So this will really make it easy for you to get into the habit of decoding the signals and using the behaviors to help you address the real issues going on here. So go ahead and shoot me a message and I'll send this over. I hope this has been valuable for you.